I'll cheer up as the video goes on, but at the moment, I'm still in shock. Hello everybody, and welcome to a very raw OUFC fan view. It's time for another review of another Oxford United game. Bloody. It's the second leg of the League One playoffs. Oxford were away at Peterborough United. Although this video won't come out until tomorrow, I am recording this just seconds after the final whistle. So these are, as always, just the raw emotions and feelings. And it's already starting to kick in now. The delight and the excitement after what was a torturous 90 minutes of football at London Road. Oxford took the slenderest of leads into this game. 1-0 in the first leg, so all to play for both sides. And you knew you were just going to expect a barrage of attack after attack from Peterborough, and Oxford having to stand firm. Oxford having to stand firm and stand up to a barrage of attacks. That doesn't seem like a good recipe for Oxford getting a result. But somehow, we've dug in and we've got there. And Oxford's season will end against Bolton at Wembley, because it finished at London Road. Peterborough United won. Oxford United won. And it really was a backs to the wall job for Oxford United for pretty much the whole of the game. Again, we go back to that Bolton game where we were destroyed 5-0, and you would never in your wildest dreams imagine that Oxford could roll the sleeves up in this manner and fight and dig out a result. But my goodness, we showed some character. We can't say we were good at all in possession or going forward, but my goodness, we showed a lot of character. Everybody played their part in that regard in what will go down as a truly memorable playoff victory, just because of all the bloody hard work we've had to put into it. But we will go into all of it. We'll go over the team news, we'll go over the game, and I'll give my final thoughts. And look, really straight away, commiserations to Peterborough. My channel's not about pettiness or having a dig or having a gloat about other fans. You huffed and puffed and really couldn't really have done any more than what you did today. I'd say you just struggled to create chances, but my goodness, really feel sorry for you guys. That's another tough defeat in the playoffs. But we'll go over all of it, as I said. If you can hit like on this video, that does help. If you can hit subscribe, that helps as well. But I still can't believe it. Let's have a look at the team news, and starting with Oxford then, and it's really not surprising and there's not much to say. There's Buckingham named an unchanged 11 and bench from Saturday's game. I think we all expected him to do that. It's Oxford's best 11. And as I said, there's not too much more to say. But looking at Peterborough's side, Darren Ferguson does make 2 changes, and it does make Peterborough a lot stronger. It's arguably their best team. Kwame Poco, one of the most dangerous forwards, wingers in the league, and we saw that in the second half of the first leg. He starts above Ajiboye. Ricky J. Jones is up front instead of Mothersill. But there was some debate amongst POSH fans about who should start up front. Should it be Clark Harris? Should it be Jones? Jones gets the nod, but POSH still do have the experience of JCH to call from the bench. That's certainly an area where Peterborough have a lot more depth than Oxford. So let's move on to the game then, and 10 minutes in, and Peterborough basically had all of the ball, and they had pretty much all of the ball for pretty much all of the game. But there was just one shot on target, Cipriano getting around the back of a Mason Clark cross, but his volley wasn't well timed and it was easy for Jamie Cumming. 20 minutes on the clock, just a couple of decent runs forward from Josh Murphy were really the only things Oxford have looked even slightly threatening from. The second came from a long ball from Cameron Brannagan, which Murphy got on the end of, got in behind, and he had Mark Harris free in the centre. He just couldn't get it beyond Knight, who gets back to make a vital block. Oxford did get a few corners in the first half, but pretty much by and large, they were rubbish from all of them. 23 minutes, and this is Cummings' first real test. Knight did well at the back post. He kept the ball alive from a free kick, and he sold Cameron Brannagan up the river with a dummy, really. But Knight was close, but there was a lot of bodies around him. But he did get a shot on target, and Cummings was able to claw it, palm it away over the bar. 30 minutes, Tyler Goodrum has to come off for Oxford United with an injury, and he was replaced by Marcus McGuane. Little bit surprised by that. I thought Josh McEachran would have been the first taxi off the rank in that regard, but I have to say, I thought Marcus McGuane did pretty well when he came on. But Peterborough still dominating, 38 minutes on the clock. Corners and free kicks absolutely racking up now. An amazing block by Elliot Moore came out to the edge of the area. I think he got on the first header, and then Collins had a chance on the volley. It was a decent effort from Collins. It was certainly goal bound, but Elliot Moore flew himself across and got a head on it to divert it away. But you sensed a goal was coming as the half went on. Although Oxford were defending manfully, you just sensed at some point Peterborough will take a chance, and on 40 minutes they did. They took the lead, they levelled the tie, and they deserved it. Just too many corners and free kicks given away by Oxford United. This time it was Finn Stevens with a real ugly foul on Mason Clark, which brought a free kick on the left hand side. Lovely ball in by Burrows. Knight got away from Harris at the back post, but he had a lot to do still, and he cushioned a very calm, for a centre back, very calm, assured finish past Jamie Cumming into the back of the net. It was what all Oxford fans feared, and Peterborough looked like they were in the ascendancy, and at that point, you just thought Oxford had got an even bigger mountain to climb. But a weird little passage of play happened after that goal. Is all of a sudden Oxford had a little bit of a few attacks, and they got their foot on the ball and they passed it around, maybe for the only time in the game, and Dale won a free kick right on the edge of the area. It is Cameron Brannagan blasting the ball range is all you can expect from here. Cameron Brannagan does just that. Burrows flies across to block it, but he gets his arms up in the air. It strikes him on the arm. Ref gives a penalty, and out of absolutely nothing, Oxford get a penalty. Brannagan, calm as you like, tucks it away, and we're back level, and Oxford are back in the lead and the tie. The first half was never ending. We got to 51 minutes and Peterborough was still on the attack. Mason Clark picked out Randall, who got a bit of space in the penalty area, and Jamie Cumming again making a good save, diving across to claw it away from the top corner. And we eventually, the first half ended. And it ended 1-1. Completely dominated by Peterborough. But I have to say, for all their possession, there's not too many times they got in behind Oxford. It was very much playing in front of the Oxford backline. Oxford very good in their shape and defended very well. Not too many clear-cut chances for Peterborough either, but Oxford just kept giving away corners, kept giving away free kicks, and it just invited pressure, and eventually that pressure told. But Oxford given a lifeline straight back into the game with that penalty. But other than that, the going forward, there's only been a small number of fleeting moments where Oxford have been able to take the pressure off themselves at the back. The trouble is, you just can't expect this game to be any different in the second half. I think I need to go and have a bit of a lie down. But as it stands, Oxford United fans, we're a half away from Wembley. Oxford make a half-time change and Sam Long came on for Finn Stevens, and that was a very important substitution, but not least because Finn Stevens did feel like a bit of a walk-in red card. He did get booked early in that second half for that foul on Mason Clark. And Peterborough started the second half really well, only just a minute in, and Jones for the first time showed his electric pace. Probably the only time that Ricky J. Jones got a bit of space to run at the Oxford backline, and boy did he. He bombed down that left-hand side. He got away from Moore. He got away from Brown. He was able to get a cross into the penalty area. It was a low cross, and Marcus McGuane, I've got to say, did excellently to get back to slide in to divert the danger away. But thankfully for Oxford, the pressure did settle down a little bit. Peterborough did start to get a little bit frustrated. They did start to get a little bit wasteful. Oxford still defending their goal extremely well. Mason Clark tried a long-range effort. He cut inside nicely. It wasn't a great shot, though. It was about 25 yards. That was easy for Cumming, but Cumming didn't gather it cleanly, but there was nobody following in. But Peterborough's next chance only came 13 minutes later, 76 minutes. They continued with the pressure. Plenty of balls into the box. Randall this time whistling across just over everyone's head and out for a goal kick. 84 minutes. And Oxford finally, I think they're probably only shot on goal in the second half. But it was a really, really good chance, a rare move forward for Oxford United, but it all came from Steer making a Horlicks of a ball out from the back. He passed it straight to Oxford on the edge of the box. They were able to get the ball to Marcus McGuane, and he just dragged it wide. It's probably the worst person that could fall to on the edge of the box, but McGuane, it was so close to going into the corner, but it stayed at 1-1, and we entered into injury time. Oxford time wasting a ton. We were there. I've said it, Peterborough fans. We time wasted till the cows came home. You could have added 11 minutes on and it wouldn't have been unreasonable. But only 7 were added on. I say only 7. That still felt like a lot. And Peterborough came as close to scoring in injury time as they did throughout that whole second half. First, it was Clark Harris from a corner. He gets his head on it. It's beaten Jamie Cumming, but an amazing last-ditch clearance by Sam Long gets the ball away. Then Fernandez, he came on as a sub. He's a huge guy. He got to a cross ahead of Jamie Cumming. It's probably the only mistake Jamie Cumming made in the game, but Fernandez could only put it over the bar. And then at the last knockings of the game, the final couple of crosses that Peterborough put in. First, I think it's Knight who gets his head on it. Fantastic save by Jamie Cummings to keep it out, and then Mothersill blazed it over the bar on the rebound. He was never going to score from there. And then I don't even know how to describe this final one. Peterborough just a ball into the box. I think they win a flick on at the near post, and it loops right the way across, and you're just expecting a Peterborough player to nod it in at the back post. But I think Greg Lee's done a bit of a good job of just blocking a run, and it loops away to safety, and the ref blows the whistle, and Oxford have done it. Somehow we've done it. And it's only the small matter of Bolton now. And that brings me on to my final thoughts, and I'll start with Peterborough. And look, I do feel for you guys. It's a really tough loss to take. It's a defeat in the playoffs again. I would say you'll look at it and say you couldn't do much more. I would say the only thing is I think you struggled to kind of get in behind Oxford. Could you have tried to get Jones, with a few runs in behind the Oxford back line? Could you have got Poku? Could you have got Mason Clark in behind a little bit more? It's just everything seemed to be a bit in front of Oxford, and Oxford kind of dealt with it very well. But all in all, I mean, you guys pushed and pushed and pushed. You got back into it. Just a bit of a rash of blood when you got 1-0 ahead to gift Oxford a penalty route back into the game. And on any other day, you would have gone on to win that game. It was just somehow, some way, the fates aligned in Oxford's favour, and we got the victory. Well, we didn't even get the victory. We got the draw and we won the tie, but I don't think there's really too much more Peterborough could have done in that one. Let me know your thoughts down below. I absolutely understand if you want to give shit and abuse about Oxford's time wasting and Oxford's lack of desire to even want to pass the ball around today. I get it. And I get you frustrated, and if you want to hit down votes, I get that as well. But we might even be in the same league next season, so we'll go again. Maybe next season, maybe not. But you guys are certainly going to be up and around the playoff mix promotion next season. You're far too good of a team to not be, and what can you do? It was just our day at the end of the day, and that brings me on to Oxford United. I still can't believe we've won like this. I cannot believe we've won by basically just defending for 90 minutes. But what a shift the guys put in. Cumming made some great saves. Brown and Moore, immense. Long, what a difference he made when he came on, especially with that last minute block as well. Bennett, Lee, they all played their part. The work rate of the guys in front was superb. Harris worked his socks off like he usually does. They had scraps to deal with. Murphy, when he did get a chance to get forward, he was probably Oxford's only bright spark of trying to create any sort of a chance. Dale, work rate fantastic again. He's won that free kick on the edge of the box as well. Let's not forget that. And generally, somehow Oxford have dug in and got the job done. Unbelievable. I'm really... I don't like to say, so proud of the boys very often, but sometimes it's not about going and playing a team off the park and smashing goals in, sometimes you can take a lot of joy from the dirty part of the game and the rolling your sleeves up and the heart and the pride and the desire to defend your goal. And that's what Oxford have showed today. And we've showed some real character. And you'd have never thought, I've said this a few times now, you'd have never thought Oxford would be able to do this a few weeks ago, a few months ago. But we've certainly got that ability to do it now. It's remarkable that we weren't able to get any foothold in the game, and credit to Peterborough, who really just played it around our press. Oxford really struggled to win the ball back in midfield, which I thought was going to be key, but that turned out to be a battle that Peterborough won. But it didn't really matter at the end of the day, because Peterborough weren't able to really cut Oxford open from the middle of the park. But I really thought Oxford would have won more ball in the middle, and I really thought when we did get the ball, we were quite wasteful. We were rushed in possession, overhit a lot of passes, and were sloppy. And you can't blame Des Buckingham for that. The side set up to play on the counter-attack, but when you play on the counter-attack, you've got to be good and decisive when you've got the ball, and Oxford just weren't. So we were just constantly giving the ball back. You can't blame Buckingham for that. But I thought he got his tactics spot on. I thought that the McGuane substitution was good. The Long substitution was good. I thought bringing Leon helped a lot as well. So all in all, fantastic for Oxford United. Leave your comments down below, Oxford fans. We've got the small matter of a Wembley playoff final against Bolton Wanderers to look forward to in a week's time. Yes, that game is going to be bloody tough like this one is, but if you can't go and enjoy it, then what the hell are we doing here? This was incredible tonight. Not free-flowing, not the Oxford United we've seen in terms of attacking and scoring goals, but we saw a different Oxford today. One that was willing to fight and one that was willing to grind out what was needed. And we got the job done. Leave your comments. I'm intrigued to hear what you say. I'll be back to do a preview video of the final, and then I'll do a review of the final. And I'm going to go to the final as well. Come on, you yellows.